Never save money. That sentence sounds wrong the moment you hear it. After all, everyone around you says the same thing. Save your money, protect your future, stay safe. But this story is not about advice. It's about two people who believe different things about money and how those beliefs quietly shape their entire lives. This is the story of John and Alan. John and Alan grew up in the same small town. Nothing special, no big opportunities, just narrow streets, modest homes, and people trying their best. They went to the same school, sat on the same benches, dreamed about a better life while walking home every evening. Both came from families that struggled but never complained. When they finished college, reality arrived quickly. Jobs were hard to find, salaries were small, life felt heavy. Still, both men kept going. After years of working, saving, and surviving, something unexpected happened. The company they worked for shut down and offered a one-time compensation. Each man received $10,000. For some people, that amount means nothing. For John and Alan, it meant everything. John held the check in his hands and felt relief. This is security, he thought. No matter what happens, I'll be okay. The same evening, he told his father about it. Put it somewhere safe, his father said. Money saved is money protected. John nodded. Those words felt familiar. They felt responsible. Alan received the same advice from his family, but something inside him felt uneasy. What if safety isn't enough? He wondered. He didn't say it out loud, but the question stayed with him. The very next week, John opened a savings account. He deposited the full amount. When he saw the balance on the screen, he smiled. It felt like control. It felt like peace. Every month, John tried to add more. He avoided risks. He avoided mistakes. He avoided discomfort. When friends talked about business ideas or new skills, John stayed quiet. I don't want to lose what I have, he would say. Saving became his identity. Alan made a different choice. He didn't spend the money on luxury. He didn't waste it. Instead, he invested part of it in learning. A short course, basic equipment, a small rented space. It wasn't impressive. It wasn't safe. But it had potential. John was worried. You're using your savings? John asked him one evening. What if it doesn't work? Alan smiled, unsure but honest. Then I'll learn something, he said, and try again. To John, now that sounded careless. The first year was hard for Alan. Some months he earned less than John. Some days he questioned his decision, but every mistake taught him something. Meanwhile, John felt proud. His money was untouched. His balance looked the same. He slept peacefully. I made the right choice, he told himself. But time has a quiet way of changing things. 3 years passed. Prices slowly increased. Rent went up. Groceries cost more. Life became expensive without asking permission. John noticed something strange. His savings were still there, but they felt smaller. The number hadn't changed much, but what that number could buy had. He didn't panic. He told himself this was normal. This is why I saved, he said. Alan's situation looked messy from the outside. He wasn't rich, he wasn't relaxed, but something was happening. His skills improved, his confidence grew, his income changed with effort. Money moved in and out of his hands constantly. Sometimes it left, sometimes it returned bigger. He was tired, but hopeful. 5 years later, life tested John. A family emergency appeared without warning. Medical bills arrived quickly. John withdrew money from his savings. At first, he felt grateful, But when he checked his remaining balance, fear replaced comfort. It took years to build. It disappeared in months. For the first time, John felt trapped. Around that time, Alan visited him. They sat quietly watching traffic move past the window. "I'm thinking of expanding," Alan said carefully. "There's demand. I just need to take another step." John looked at him confused. "Aren't you scared?" John asked. "What if everything fails?" Alan thought for a moment. "I'm not fearless," he said, "but my money doesn't sit still. It works, and when it works, it finds a way back." Those words stayed with John long after Alan left. 10 years passed. The world changed faster than either of them expected. Technology grew, costs grew, pressure grew. John still had savings, but they no longer felt like protection. They felt like a limit. Alan wasn't wealthy, but he was adaptable. His money grew because his skills grew. One evening, years later, John and Alan sat together again. John broke the silence. "I did everything right," he said softly. "I saved. I avoided risks. I played safe." Alan listened. "But safety didn't move forward," John continued. "It just stayed still." Alan picked up a small stone and rolled it between his fingers. "Do you see that road?" he said. "Everything on it keeps moving. Anything that stops gets left behind." John looked down. For the first time, he wasn't defending his choices. He was questioning them. John stayed silent for a long moment. The noise of cars passing by felt louder than before. His mind replayed every choice he had made. "I thought I was being smart," John finally said. "I thought saving meant winning." Alan didn't interrupt. "But all these years," John continued, "I was protecting money instead of building a life." Alan nodded slowly. "That's the mistake most people make," he said. "They confuse safety with progress." John looked at him. "So, what did you do differently?" he asked. "We started at the same place, same money, same chances." Alan leaned back in his chair. "I stopped asking how to protect my money," he said. "I started asking how to make it useful." That night, John couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about one simple truth. Money that stays still feels safe. But the world doesn't stay still. Prices rise, opportunities change. Life moves forward whether you are ready or not. And money that refuses to move slowly loses its power. The next morning, John did something unusual. He didn't check his savings balance. Instead, he wrote down a question on a piece of paper. How can my money work with me, not against time? It wasn't a big step, but it was the first honest one. John didn't suddenly become brave. He didn't quit his job. He didn't gamble everything. He started small. He invested in learning. Not because it was exciting, but because it was necessary. He took courses. He learned new skills. He made mistakes that cost him money and pride. Some nights, fear returned. What if I lose what's left? He wondered. But something had changed. Now, fear came with purpose. Meanwhile, Alan continued growing steadily, not fast, not magically, just consistently. Some years were good, some were difficult, but his income adapted because he adapted. His money moved through skills, effort, and value. It didn't depend on luck. A few years later, John noticed something surprising. His savings were smaller than before, but his confidence was larger. He no longer depended on one number in a bank account. He had options, and options felt like freedom. One evening, John and Alan met again. This time, John was smiling. "I finally understand," John said. "Saving money gave me comfort. Growing money gave me control." Alan smiled back. "That's the difference," he said. "Saving protects yesterday, Growing prepares you for tomorrow. John looked around at the people passing by. Everyone seemed busy. Everyone seemed worried. "They're all saving," John said quietly. "But most of them aren't building." Alan nodded. "Because building feels uncomfortable at first," he said, "and saving feels safe." Here's the truth most people learn too late. Saving money is not wrong. It is necessary. But saving alone is not enough. Saving without purpose creates an illusion of safety. While your money sits quietly, the world changes loudly. What bought you comfort yesterday may only buy survival tomorrow. Growing money doesn't mean reckless spending, doesn't mean dangerous risks. It means intention. It means asking better questions. Is my money helping me grow skills? Is it creating value? Is it preparing me for change? Or is it just waiting while time does its work? John never became extremely wealthy, but he became something better, resilient. He could adapt. He could learn. He could respond. And that mattered more than numbers. The real lesson isn't about money. It's about mindset. Money is not a trophy to be locked away. It's a tool. A tool must be used. When money moves with purpose, it creates opportunity. When it stays still, it slowly fades. Not because someone steals it, but because time quietly takes its value away. John often shares his story now, not as a warning, but as a reminder that it's never too late to change your approach. Even a small step matters. Even a late start counts. So ask yourself this today. Is your money working for you? Or is it only making you feel safe? Are you protecting the past or preparing for the future? Because saving money may give you peace today, but growing money gives you strength tomorrow. And strength is what carries you through life. If this story touched your heart, please like this video. Share it with someone who feels slow or left behind. Subscribe to Wisdom Square for weekly stories like this. We are here to grow together. Thank you for listening. See you in the next story.